All right, welcome back once again to the CEA. This time we're here for the collegiate stuff. Managed to time it perfectly so I could catch BeoMulf adjusting in his chair, just the way that I always do. I don't think I've ever come back to a scene and not been like shuffling around in my chair like a little snake. They just like shimmying and yeah. How are you doing?
Well, I'm doing great because my audio is now fixed. I think we had to deal with the gremlins in the machine on both Steadfast and my computers. Had to deal with all this stuff, and I think I sounded periodically like a robot, like I was from a dark hallway, like I was from another planet. But I think we're good now, so I'm excited. It means I can realistically commentate Starcraft and not just cry that no one can hear what I'm saying. So we're in a good situation.
Yes, much better, much better setup. On anyone who has ever worked with any kind of broadcasting stuff or anything like that will know the struggles of dealing with audio. It is one of the most confusing things to deal with because it's a little bit like creating code, like writing code if you've ever written it before. Like you do something and then it has, it should do something to X and Y. And then all of a sudden, variable K breaks and you're like, well, I didn't touch that. And then you go over there and you fix variable K and then it's like, okay, well, variable C that you hadn't designated and doesn't exist, now it's broken. So good luck with that. And then you're like, okay, I guess we go back to normal now. And then they're like, okay, but these things don't work anymore. And you're, what? But I put it back to the way it was.
This is my day-to-day life, or non-deterministic behavior is a wonderful thing. In fact, it's that whole, it's working. We don't know why. It's not working. We also don't know why. I've had some wonderful opportunities when you talk about building code here, where the control system I made didn't work. We ran in debug mode. It started working and it never stopped. So that's kind of what happened here, where we just restarted Discord and on the 5th restart of Discord, suddenly things started working again, and they haven't stopped. So
we're just riding that
really
train into the station. Oh God. Well, we are just about to get into game number 1. Let's talk about the teams a little bit here. We have 2 teams that are at 2-1 record here. We've got the University of California, Irvine versus Northeastern University. UCI, the team name is Antis #1. Of course, a very good player is Antis. He has been having some wrist issues, which really does suck. And Northeastern University is Beantown Bronze, which is another kind of cheeky, funny little name right there. But yeah, we're going to be getting into the match pretty shortly here. First map will be Romanticide. Quick predictions looking at these 2 teams. What are your thoughts?
I think UC Irvine has the name. They were at the top of the table. Well, actually, was their last season? Anyway, they're top of the table this season. They got some good players. They have that name. They have that incredible institutional support. I think I'd be amiss, even as NEU. It's much closer to where I am geographically. Got to root for the hometown team here, but I think I'd be remiss to not say, yeah, I think UC Irvine has the advantage here. And I think we're going to go deep, but I do think UC Irvine will take it at the end of the day.
So you're thinking 3-2?
Yeah, I think 3-2, most likely.
All right, I've got UC Irvine 3-1 is my prediction here. That is okay, cool. All right. It's very difficult when my sheet that doesn't have the actual players' names is different from the other stuff, and then I have to remember which player is on which team.
Yeah,
it's always a fun one.
I believe Josh is Purity here.
Yes, Josh is, Purity is UC Irvine, and Watertop is Northeastern University.
Yes.
NEU.
So it's interesting.
That'll save time.
Yeah. There we go. It's what's really interesting here actually is we look at the players going up. Irvine, UC Irvine does have a Grandmaster level player. Veritas, Grandmaster did open up, and he does have the border. He's also 3-2 in 1v1. He was 3-0 until he got 0-2'd last week. And he is not playing 1v1 in this series. He's not playing in any of the 1v1 games at all, unless they do go to Ace. And that's a rather interesting strategic decision we're going on here. I mean, Purity, or Josh, whatever his case, he actually has not played 1v1. He's not played any of the 1v1 matches thus far in this season. He has played one 2v2 game. He was 0-1. So it's an interesting strategic decision. Watertop actually has been pretty successful. It's gone 2-1. I believe the one loss was an ace match too. So there's that.
Yeah, no, that's a pretty interesting move. Specifically what you're talking about, not going with Veritas there. But as we get into the map, let's introduce our players spawning down in the bottom right position of Romanticide. It is the red Zerg player. Give it up for Watertop, representing NEU.
And his opponent in the upper left, in the blue for UC Irvine, and it's #1. It's Josh. Caught you circling.
Yeah, you did. Very well done. I remember back in the day when whenever there was like a home story cup or something, and it'd be like In Control and Ravi, they'd be casting together, and you'd have Jeff just drag the intro out for like 45 seconds while the camera's just spinning around. It's just twirling around this base.
Oh yeah, it's like the opposite issue of when you're casting off of a clean feed and you're like, when in the world is the observer actually going to go in? Because they're not in a call with you. If it's anything like so you and I both went off the clean feed for the King of Battle qualifiers, and I believe this for the later qualifiers that was a 2-minute delay, so there was no chance. I mean, Mapu was just not there, so we're just, when's he gonna go in? When's he gonna do it?
Yeah. It was a challenge. It was such a challenge.
But it's all good, It's nice anyways. I mean, I just get to sit here. I'm watching your camera feed, so you get to do that anyways. Makes life a little bit easier for me. I just get to lean back in my chair. It's fun. My chair actually, the lock to keep it straight up, so I don't like just lean back into the floor, is a little bit broken. So if I lean back a little bit too much, it just pops out, and suddenly I'm trying not to lie down and sleep as I watch Starcraft. Not that I could ever fall asleep, but you get the point.
Oh, I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Yeah, the big trick, of course, is it's nice. I got it used, but it's leather, so I'm just gonna start like slowly sliding down to the floor. Like, oh no,
too cozy for its own good.
That and it's just too slippery.
We do have a quick little gas first opening out of the Terran here, so going to be skipping that first Marine to get those super quick Reactor Hellions.
Yeah, we've seen some rather interesting or gas first Hellion-ish builds. I mean, what we saw TY earlier today didn't work, but again, that's against one of the best Zergs in the world who kind of are used to this. But we saw some really interesting Hellbat Marine timings. I think this one had deliberate. No, the one I'm thinking of actually had an SCV pull on top of it, where the Hellbats were that much more powerful because they were being constantly repaired. And we have seen some of that in the meta. Now, the standard Hellbat push that we saw, become really popular a couple years ago, that's not all that good anymore.
Are you talking about the one with like 7 Marines and like 6 Hellbats, or just the Hellbats?
Just the Hellbat push, right? That was popular a couple years ago, and Zergs realized, hey, if I get a bunch of queens, it doesn't really matter. Yeah. And as I talk about queens, I mean, we got a Roachborn coming down. I don't think we have Hellbats to be worried about at all, but Hellion production is stopped. We're going into tanks really fast here. Actually, yeah, what do we have? 1 Hellion on the map?
I don't think No, he didn't even build any. I took that for granted that he would. Oh wow, look at that! Cancels the Roachborn, goes into a Baneling nest. I took that for granted.
I know. I think what I can count on one hand are the percentage of games of ZVT or TVZs that we don't see Hellions go out first. But my question though, what did Watertop see that said, yes, I'm gonna cancel this Roachborn, I want a Baneling nest? Because I don't think he had anything in there. I don't think because there's the one Overlord on the right hand side. Yeah, he didn't see anything. Is it just because he sees the lack of Hellions that he decided to cancel that?
It's very possible. And that would be a very astute move if that was the decision-making process, because anytime there's no Hellions, you're much more likely to see something like a 2-on-1, or, well, that's actually almost always what it means. But in this case, it's a lot of Marines and some tank production.
Yeah, this is a 3-1-1, but of course we don't have any tech lab on these barracks quite yet. I gotta imagine that there is that one abandoned tech lab that we're gonna see one of the barracks that was being built moved onto, but the barracks built pretty far away. So, again, the barracks are built decently far away from where the tech lab is, so it's gonna be interesting to see what's happening there. As we try not to make our viewers too dizzy here.
Having a little fun there. Looks like it is going to be used for that tech lab, but yeah, as you said, kind of needlessly building it far away. Now Watertop is going to get an okay. This barracks is that's a rally.
What's this barracks doing?
That's a rally. Anyone who plays Terran is familiar with this, the way that this works. When you have a building on a hotkey and you lift it and you send it somewhere and then you change the rally of your buildings, if you haven't unhotkeyed that building, it will go here. And it's just going to hang out for a while. And there we go.
That is unfortunate.
Yeah, that costs him stim and or combat shields timing.
Yeah, luckily it is. He did get a he did get a tech lab on that second barracks, or I guess on that third barracks. So stim is getting started. Be a tech lab, any sort of concussive shells. I don't think he's gonna go for. I mean, concussive shells all that fast here. I wouldn't imagine. But yeah, stim and combat shields will be. They'll be desynced.
A little bit more than you would like, yeah.
Yeah, and this is going to be a stim timing here. There's 5 racks. He has no intention on taking the third base, really anytime soon. And this build is kind of interesting, right? Because this really feels more like a TVP build than it does a TVZ build.
Oh yeah, definitely. It feels very well, like you say, very much either a TVP build or a Dolan build.
Man, I can't say I've seen any Dolan games recently, or really at all.
Yeah, if you wanna catch them, you have to catch the either him playing someone on the ladder, or be a part of a random Discord, or see them in like the ESL Americas, I think, the Open Cup for Americas.
Yeah. And unfortunately, I don't have casting rights to ESL, so I don't really get to see that unless you or Pig or someone manages to pick one up. Interestingly enough here, so we do see Armory on the way. We do see that's actually a relatively fast Armory for our upgrade timings here. And Purity's just gonna he wants to hit with just this massive reinforce moving right across the map right now. Now, Purity is aware of this. And the one thing I'm afraid of, or for Watertop's aware of this, but the one thing I'm afraid of here for Watertop is, well, bailing speed is still pretty far off. And which means this first push from Purity's and move across the map is going to be able to hit without any sort of bailing. So I think we might even just see the 4th base go down, but of course Purity has to get more than that done. This is a 2-base all-in. Make no mistake about it.
Watertop has a very important decision to make, and that is to sacrifice this base. If he tries to go in off of creep, he's already going to try and do it, and he is going to run right into a meat grinder. These tanks are going to obliterate the banelings. Oh my God. The resource is lost, BeoMulf. The resource is lost.
Oh no. That is, yeah, he goes in there. Bailing speed's not done yet, and he tries to get a flank. Oh yes, I'm going to attack from the right and the left, and it's going to be fine. But that doesn't matter when the right hits and then the left hits 30 seconds later, and you just don't have enough anyways. Watertop was already sitting about 30 army supply down, and now, well, nothing's going to stop. It's going to be so much harder for him to get stopped here. I mean, sure, he's on creep, and that you do want to get rid of that creep, Purity. You do want to get rid of that creep there. But this is not a good situation for Watertop to be in at all. He's down double army supply here, and sure, he's got maybe marginally better upgrades. Actually, we do have the other half of the 1-1 finishing rather quickly, so there we have to scan. We do have the army of Purity going in to do what it can, but well, he does need to move the tanks up a little bit forward. Oh, he's gonna get some queens too. Oh no.
That is pretty unfortunate there. Mining out these minerals does help out a lot, but we're gonna see another. Oh, that's a lean run by. Oh wow.
Wow. The man is ready for everything.
Oh my God.
That's pretty smart, actually. That's kind of cool.
I do wonder if it's on purpose, but yeah, let's give him the benefit of the doubt. That was, man, he still hasn't lost a unit since that first little skirmish. Like, Oh,
no.
my God. Oh, God.
The Zerganity. Oh no.
He will pick
it
off
does
a
get by
good.
enough.
Yeah. If he could have mined out these mineral patches, he could have been picking off reinforcements so much more easily. Oh, he's going to try and go for the break.
Oh, there we go. Oh, these tank shots with all the Banelings, but the Marines are overstepping. They're stepping right into the Banelings, but it will not be enough.
Oh, my God. Look at these tank kills. 15, 23, 20. I can't click one. 19. They combined for 100 kills.
That is insane.
Oh, no, it's just a little bit shy, but not by much. And I think they're going to hit 100 kills as a group before this game ends. Oh,
Yeah,
no, they actually already have.
And yeah, that's the big issue here, right? You've gone and the Zerg is trying to hold, and sure has been able to kill some of the bio, not even all that much. But the big deal is the tanks have not died. So every time this push goes in more, you have more tanks, you have more damage, you have more splash that the Zerg has to be able to fight through to get on top of things. And as hatches go down and as economy goes down, that just gets harder and harder. And interesting, we saw Watertop committed pretty heavily to this Hydra tech. He got both Hydra upgrades. He got the Hydra Den itself, and we've not seen a single one because, of course, Hydraling Bane is not all that great against tanks for the most part. And that, in fact, tank pushes were the kind of thing that really did push Hydraling Bane out of the meta for the time being. That's kind of why we moved back to muted play for a good part. And we just have more and more tanks. Actually, that's an interesting rally.
Yeah, kind of a little bit weird, but just kind of the way the map works, I guess. Yeah, those tanks have a combined 109 kills. Where is this drop going? It's just on the way. Like, yeah, let's go to the top. Why not?
It's a Queen assassination attempt, and they will get it. Secret agent Marine on the way to kill off more Queens, to deny the creep, to deny any sort of economy and production here for Watertop. As we notice, well, Watertop just cannot spend his money, does not have the larva with which to do so. He's lost so many Queens. He's lost so many production buildings that he's just not in a position to be able to do anything. That being said, he does have a pretty good economy. And despite being 21 out of 8 on his natural, he's still mining significantly more than his Terran opponent. The supply and the upgrades, that's the scary thing.
Yeah, you gotta look at D at this one. When you look at D supply, you get a very drastically one-sided affair. But the problem is, there's nothing to deal with these tanks. The tank count is just continuing to grow at this point. Ooh, a couple of reinforcements are going to run into a little bit of an awkward scenario. Looks like some Banelings just picked off 12 SCVs, and now a very awkward rally. Will lose the Terran a lot here. So this is not over, but we are going to have a... Oh, nope, not a break attempt. It just ends up being more damage taken.
Yeah, Purity's doing a great job of running into aggro range and finding any sort of units that the Zerg does not have on hold position, and then just dragging that, the meat grinder that is these tanks. And do you want to know a fun stat right now?
I would love to know.
There are more tanks on this map than there are Banelings.
Oh. Unsubscribe. I don't like this fact anymore. Yeah.
You know what? I would really like to see Purity here. He has this great push position. Absolutely. I would really, yeah, there we go. Now he's going to do it. Just going to go drop on into the main base here. He's pretty much cut off the main from the natural. And we do have these massive amount. Okay, so actually we're going to have the break coming in here as some of the army of Purity is on in the main base, but the Banelings are just not hitting. This is 2-2 Bio versus 1-2 Ling Bane, and the tanks are just there. The tanks are indomitable. Okay, these Banelings should be able to clean up the main base if they attack into there we go. The drop is going to start going down, but at what cost? At what cost, Steadfast?
Well, I can tell you, and it is about double the resources lost for the Zerg as the Terran. And in any game where that number is not 1,000 to 2,000 or 500 to 1,000, you're looking at a really rough situation for the Zerg. And we have just seen him tortured down in this one. Now, the medevacs are out of energy, and this Bioforce is very low in HP, but we're seeing drones pulled into this.
And you say that. Trades are absolutely a thing. The Terran was pretty much not mining by the end of that game. Terran was at about 200 minerals a minute, something like that, right towards the end of that game. So should Watertop have been able to hold maybe just a little bit longer? maybe he was going to be able to find himself in a position where he'd be able to break that. But yeah, when you're just there in the main base, when your production's getting camped, when your army transfer's getting camped, doesn't matter that you're mining that much more. Doesn't really matter whether you probably mined enough that much more than your opponent that maybe the trades aren't even that bad. I mean, they're bad, but that they kind of balances out the resources lost when you just whatever you produce, it just dies on approach, and that's kind of what we saw at the end of that game.
Yeah, it was a tough one across the board for the Zerg there.
Yeah, I think really what that came down to is he just did not really pick up the fact that this was a 5-racks 2-base all-in coming in from our Terran player. And you know what's interesting? When we were looking, I don't know if you looked at the portraits when we were loading in, but Purity is technically a platinum player. I gotta imagine. I gotta imagine he's gotten nulled because if you looked at his macro, that was a lot better than what you see most platinums play at. I don't think he ever went above 500. I don't think he ever went above 500 minerals unspent.
You know what? Yeah, he was pretty solid on that, and it's very possible. Oh, I don't think we're novice steps of war. This is that has raw. Wait, that's not the actual version of the map, is it?
No, I don't believe. I believe we want steps of war, not novice steps of war. Let's see whether I can find the map.
Thank you.
The only one I can find is novice steps of war.
Oh, that is problematic.
Pump patch steps of war. Is this it? I see one that's pump patch steps of war. Who's the original map creator? Pumpkin?
Let's see.
I see a Steps of War 2.0.
Steps of War, corporate players vote. Well, it is most assuredly a rush map. I can agree on that.
I'm going to leave this lobby and I'm going to load into some of these and see what's up.
Yeah, so we're just going to get this one figured out. Sorry about that, folks. By the way, perfect opportunity to say a big thank you to the CEA for bringing us on here. Gilded, the title sponsor of this season, making it all possible, as well as Shopify. Big thank you to them. Shopify does have a roster of their own, and well, they are going to be unveiling somebody next week, and I think it's going to be a pretty nifty little show.
I realized I loaded into the amped one that I was trying to check out, and let me tell you, the amped one is not what you want. Every mineral patch is gold minerals, so that's not the correct one. That's not the correct one. Is it? If I was to guess about who the special guest is, so full disclosure here, I don't know who this is, right? I'm just a caster. Steadfast is the cool one here. But we do know, of course, that TLO was recently hired by Shopify to run their esports department. And I really cannot wait to see what's going to happen there, what TLO is able to do, because of course the CEO of Shopify actually is pretty good at Starcraft as well. Apparently he streams on occasion.
That's really cool. I would love to check that out.
Yeah, so he holds StarCraft players in incredibly high regard. I believe he gave Select, I believe it was, an internship sight unseen because he was a very good StarCraft player once upon a time.
Yeah.
I think. Okay, does the original Steps of War? Let me pull up an actual image of Steps of War. Because I have one up, and I don't know if the original Steps of War had any gold minerals. I don't know. That may have been a Legacy of the Void thing.
No? I think it did. Yeah, it had those rocks. Are you looking at Steps of War V 2.0?
I am.
I think that is the one we would be looking for.
The only difference is I don't think there are rocks. There are rocks on one of the ramps that I don't see in the screenshot that they have. There are rocks on the ramp from the natural on into the middle of the map that do not exist. So let's try pumpkin patch one.
Is that because Novice Steps of War has random rocks in the middle of the map? That's what makes it a novice map.
Yes, novice map is not what we want.
Yeah, unfortunately. Well, not unfortunately. It just do be like that.
Yeah, that's the issue when you want to play with some cool maps, but they have not been updated to Legacy of the Void officially. You got to find things.
Did you get a chance to load into Steps 4 V2.0?
I did.
And it does not look normal?
It has extra rocks. So the the ramp coming in from the natural that goes down into brushes, there are some rocks there.
Okay. But did you load into Novice Steps of War?
I did not.
Okay, because I don't actually see any of the rocks on the actual map. It's possible that it's just Novice Steps of War. But, like, they didn't remove Novice for some reason.
Well, I'm loading into Novice Steps of War. I'm checking that out. And, yeah, sorry for the delay, people. Again, benefits of maps, of wanting to play on some cool maps. And Steps of War is one of those crazy maps from way back in Starcraft history when no one really knew how to play the game. But as of right now, man, I'm excited to see what we're going to get here. It will be, of course, be a ZVT, and that's interesting. All right, so let's take a look at this. This has rocks in the wrong places, too. It has, it's just, Novice Steps of War has massively increased the rush distance. So the natural ramp into the, this is not what we want. There was a pump patch one. That's the last one I have to check out. Actually, yeah. Okay, I don't know why it's not showing up anymore.
Pumpkin patch was what you were looking for?
Yeah, it now it's not showing up in search anymore. Oh. There we go. It's actually just not showing up anymore. So, okay. Yeah, I guess we just go with the 2.0.
Yeah, I think that's probably best.
Unfortunately. Well, fortunately or unfortunately, it's going to be a little bit different from what you remember, but, well, for those of you that actually, played the game back then, what you remember, it's going to be a little bit different, but close enough. Good enough for government work.
I guess Central would be best, yeah? Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
All right. Sorry about that, everybody.
And, of course, shout out to, it's interesting. The Irvine team, of course, they're Antis #1. And I guess you were saying they're named after a player.
Yes.
I would have thought. So I played Quidditch for competitive Quidditch for a while. I can't do it anymore because Dartmouth does not have a Quidditch team.
Feels bad.
But UC Irvine has a very good team, and I believe the mascot of pretty much everyone everywhere at Irvine is the Anteaters. At least their Quidditch team was. So yeah. I'm like, yes, Antis, Anteaters. That's where that comes from. Okay, that makes sense.
Oh, yeah, that's it. Did you have more? Sorry, it sounded like you were ramping up. Yes, okay.
No.
Oh, okay. I actually played Quidditch too, which is crazy, just statistically. So how long did you play?
I played from my sophomore year of undergrad up through my grad year. So I played 3 years for Arizona State, 2 or 3 years for Arizona State, and then I played for the Arizona Scorpions, which was a community team this last year. It was really sad. We were like #2 in the West, qualified for nationals, and then COVID killed it.
Yeah. Feels bad.
Yeah, who did you play for?
The Guelph Griffins.
Have
you actually heard of them?
Oh, yeah. They're a great Canadian team. They do pretty well at Canadian Nationals every year.
Yep. They were, it was super hilarious because, it exploded so quickly in terms of, I guess that's the case with, everywhere because it's such a passion project. But it went from, you know, being kind of a niche, like, hey, this is a fun thing, to like, yeah, like we're super serious about it and practicing like 3 times a week, and everyone's like conditioning, and yeah.
Oh yeah, we were about when I was playing for ASU. A little less when I was playing for the community team. I mean, honestly, I played with some great players, so like we were really good. But you know, real life meant that we couldn't practice 6 days a week. But yeah, with ASU
Yeah.
it was 3 days a week practice. Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday, and Sundays were bad because it was 4 to 6 p.m. in the Arizona heat. You're just melting. Great way to lose water weight. And then yeah, 3 days a week conditioning. So 6 days a week of Quidditch related activities.
That's quite
But
a
hey,
bit.
you got good.
Yeah.
You got good.
Yeah. It's a
Yeah.
shame because I think I got into the best shape of my life like 2 years ago, which was like 4 years after I finished university. So I was like I could still theoretically play as a community member of the team, but well, to be honest, COVID has deleted any of the progress I've made.
Oh,
I
yeah.
would say. And we are going to be getting into game number 2 in just a moment here. Spawning down in the bottom left position of Steps of War, it is the green Zerg player. Give it up for Firebats, representing NEU.
And in the upper right, in the red for the UC Irvine Antis #1, it's the Red Terran. It's Luman.
It do be like that. Man, even on this map, just look at the size of the mini map. Like the little indicator,
Oh.
like it covers so much of the mini map. Like this is just such a tiny little map.
Man, the corporate league is sadistic here, subjecting these college players to this game, to this map. Oh man, I don't even know whether you want to take a natural here. Like as a Zerg, I mean,
yeah.
1-base Zerg is terrible, but I don't even know if that's worth it.
I feel like as the Terran, it's such a natural move to just, like, if you just learned a tank push build, like a 1-base tank push build, it would be so worthwhile and so easy to execute. You just plop a tank right here, and you just hit the natural hatchery, and you just, the Zerg's just so sad.
Oh, you know what's also the case? This map was before they had the unbuildable plates on the main natural ramp. Bunkers are. I think you just wall off the main with a bunker.
Oh man, that would have been next level. That would have been so insane.
I gotta imagine though that a lot of these players, you know, they started playing after that. I mean, I did too, but you know, you hear about it if you get embedded within the scene enough.
Oh, he just went right through that doodad in the middle.
Did he? I wasn't paying attention. I'm like,
Yeah,
okay,
he walked right through it. Yeah. Oh my god.
It's a secret temple. Yeah, but of course, this map is old as anything, and it has been ported and ported and ported. This Reaper gets here so... This Reaper gets here so fast, and Firebats has not seen fit to build any Zerglings.
That is...
I don't think. Yeah, no Zerglings.
Yeah, no, he hasn't. And his queens are going to be... Like, this hatchery actually just took 74 damage before... And the queens are still, like, not even out yet.
This drone's just like, run away! I don't want to die! Now, it's crazy that, I mean, I'm really surprised we're not seeing Lumen just really take advantage of the attributes of this map. I mean, sure, he's got a natural down, right? He's not like double factor, he's not doing triple barracks reaper, he's not doing anything crazy. He's actually gonna lose oh, he's not. Wow. On what, 2 HP? 1 HP.
Running away. You can see it, queen.
Queen, go kill it. Go, Queen, go kill it.
Oh,
There we go.
and there it goes down.
I feel bad for cheering the Queen on because, of course, you know, yeah, we're unbiased players here, or casters, right? We are not about any sort of craziness or shenanigans. We want to see good games from both of our players. Wait, is there rocks on one side of this map but not the other?
Yep. What? Whoa, my god.
I guess
right.
it's really lucky that the Terrans need a third base slower than the Zerg.
Yeah.
So it's
This
okay.
worked out all right, but oh man. We are going to be seeing a 2-1-1, by the way, coming out of Lumon here, hiding this this second barracks way in the back of his main base. The main base is so big on this map. Like, it's just gigantic.
It is cavernous, but you know what we see here, right? 16 Zerglings on the way, Baneling Nest behind this. Firebats, he's got a third base, but that is not his intention for this game. He says, you know what, you are real close to me. And Banelings, well, they're pretty good units. I hear when you don't have a wall and you don't have any sort of tanks. And even if you do have a wall, well, I do bonus damage to buildings. So let's kind of bust through things. Let's waddle our way in there, and let's make ourselves known. I hear it's a party in the Terran base. Well, we want to be invited as well.
And, well, the invitations have been sent out. Lumon, he's like, oh, no, you weren't supposed to RSVP. And the Banelings, they'll walk through that hole in the wall, and they are going to get on top of the Marines. Oh, God, the carnage.
Oh, no.
Oh, and that is going to be Desperation City here for the Terran. Stimpack still a couple of seconds away from finishing up. And these SCVs in the natural, well, they're actually going to clear up this small amount of Lings, but 5 of them already going down. Yeah, these Lings, they should go and switch back to these SCVs, but they're going to morph into more Banes. And, well, we're looking at the a game-ending attempt from Firebats here, and I think he can do it.
Absolutely. So we have 3 more barracks here on the way from Lumon. He says, you know what, I got a lot of money. I can't really spend it. I guess I'm just going to build a bunch more barracks. I don't really know how I feel about that, but anyway, it looks like this wall will get taken down once again, but it is not a full wall. The Zerglings going around there saying, oh, hey, the dance floor's over this way through the back alley. Yeah, okay. That sounds like a great opportunity here. Actually, the one Marine's going to try to be a bouncer, but, you know, bouncer needs to put on a little bit of weight.
Yeah, he's just a little bit too slender right there. Slenderman letting the team down.
That's throwback. But, you know, throwback memes for throwback dreams, and we're seeing some both here on this game number 2 as Firebats takes it.
What a ridiculous game. The fact that there was rocks on one side and not on the other.
It didn't really matter. It didn't really impact the game, but
it was just so dumb. Like, it was just...
Well, it's a best of 3 now.
Yep, sure is. Best of 3 with 2 2v2s. Hell yeah, brother. I'm ready for that. And, well, we're going to be getting into the 2v2 portion of the afternoon to evening, depending on where you are.
Afternoon, morning, evening, sometime. You know, time is relative, so it's
and
whatever
it's a
time you
construct,
want it to be.
so, you know, yeah, exactly.
So what do we have? We have Veritas Josh going to get up against Firebats Food. It's going to be a Protoss Terran, PT, versus ZP, Zerg Protoss. Veritas is 1-0 in 2v2s. He really has only played 1v1 until this week. And Josh is 0-1. Yeah, Veritas and Josh both partnered with Lumon is the partnership there. On the flip side of things, Firebats Flood is 2-1. They on 2v2s. NEU has been pretty consistent with their 2v2 partnership. They have they've kept the same thing week after week. It's been Firebats Flood and Watertop Blue Marble as the 2v2 teams. So they've played every single week just like that. I stand vaguely corrected. Firebats Flood has been a 2v2 team every week. Watertop Blue Marble is they're only 1-0. But I don't know. It's gonna be interesting here. The question is, how much does chemistry matter? How much does all that practice playing as a 2v2 team together matter when we're looking at this?
I will say, specifically at the levels of the players, that can make a difference here. Now, Veritas is, of course, you know, kind of the heavy hitter here. He's got that like 5.1k MMR against platinums and diamonds. But if the NEU team can really hit their stride together and really kind of coalesce into one being, you know, it doesn't matter if you can micro your units better. If your opponent is able to isolate your teammate, take them out, and you can't help, I have seen scenarios where super high grandmasters or pro players can beat 2 players that are, you know, diamond to platinum, but I've also seen special lose to a platinum diamond team. And it was a 1v2, of course, but like, you know, a 1v2 is very difficult. So if Watertop and Firebats can really hit their stride together, I think that they can absolutely take down the on paper stronger team.
And this is also interesting. So Veritas, he is Grandmaster as a Terran. There's 5100 as a Terran, but he's playing Protoss in this matchup. And theoretically, right, based off Flatter, I don't know how many games he's played as Protoss this overall, but he's at 4.1k as a Protoss player, solidly in that the mid to upper end edge of Diamond 1. So much more, theoretically, much more in line with what we see from Firebats, what we see from Watertop. So I don't know if that is a fair assumption, or whether he just occasionally gets ranked as Protoss and really has not just built his MMR up to where it normally would be. But our players, they're loaded into this game number 3, and I'm really excited to see what they have all ready for us here.
As am I, and we have spawning down in the bottom right position of Arctic Dream, the orange Protoss player, Veritas, and the blue Terran player in the bottom center, Purity. Oh, there's that glitch. And they are representing UC Irvine.
And then their opponents in the upper left, in the green, it's the Zerg, it's Firebats. And his partner in the red, he's the Protoss player. For NEU, it's Watertop.
That one was so I don't understand what trick. So what I do is I hold down the like command to zoom in, because then I just tap it afterwards. Ooh, I didn't realize this map had slow zones. Oh, that's a big deal, actually.
So I don't have that bug, but what I do is I just scroll wheel in and scroll wheel out.
Yeah. I should start doing that on the 2v2 maps, because it just, the bug doesn't, like, it's just there. It's not going away. Like, it's...
Yeah, I don't know. What I do know is I need to get a different mouse for observing, because it's a real finicky middle mouse button press. So when you're trying to drag scroll, as you got to do when you're observing. Biggest pet peeve when I see someone, they're observing things like, oh yes, I'm casting, and their casting may be great, but they're edge panning all over the place, like they're playing a game.
Yeah.
It's like, oh man.
It's not ideal. That's honestly, that's one of the things that makes really separates the production value of like a DreamHack or an ESL or a King of Battles, for example, from like being like playing on your own. Is you can have like the best production value, but like observing takes so much to do that if you're not, at the very least casting alongside a partner, it's a really challenging thing to do. Like it is its own job for sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Especially when you're trying to cast, and you're trying to tell this story of what's happening in the game and follow all the individual pieces, and you're trying to observe it as well, make everything look right, but also have your eyes on the minimap 50% of the 70% of the time, so you can make sure you know what's happening elsewhere, so you don't miss the Ling run by, miss everything else while you're trying to tell a story. And that's hard enough when you're just trying to play the game. When you're not paying attention to anything else, just trying to play the game, and that's when like, look, okay, I got to go through every cycle, I got to be looking at the minimap. And when you got all this extra stuff on top of things, and you're trying to formulate things that make sense, coherent thought. Well, I'm glad I got you observing for me today.
I'm glad I've got you co-casting. It does make it a lot easier. And well, we did see a 2-gate opener from the Protoss player Watertop here, and he did go for double Stalker. Going to be powering off of 2 gateways for a little bit of time, whereas both Veritas and Purity did take relatively quick expansions. And of course, the Zerg player, they're going hatch first. It's going to be a very weird day in hell when a Zerg player does not open hatch first, or at least open with a hatchery in a 2v2. Oh.
Well, yeah. So we'll see these in 2v2s. We will see these Ling floods specifically when there's another Zerg player. So it's like ZX versus ZX, right? We'll kind of see that Ling Bane battle is unavoidable, but that's not what we're seeing here. This is a lot of Banelings going in. So this is a Baneling bust with how many Stalkers is that moving across the map? with what, 5 stalkers, going through the slow zone. So maybe not going to time it precisely, but the goal here is, we were talking about, hey, maybe if we can just take out the really good player, well, we're gonna have a chance. And Veritas is that really good player. Veritas is the target. As now we just have the Banelings, we do have the Stalkers now running in, and well, I don't care how good your shield I was gonna say I don't care how good your shield battery overcharge is. Well, it's pretty good. And the wall will go down though, and now these Stalkers aren't getting surrounded. And we just don't see any help coming in from Purity, at least not quite yet. Now we see something. Looks like it's getting staged, but this is a scary situation here for Veritas in the extreme.
Yeah, he's in a lot of trouble. This Liberator is going to siege up on the ramp, and that will help a little bit. But now the Terran is kind of out in the open, and the Zerg pounces on him a little bit, takes out that tank. Protoss player takes out the Liberator, and that has bought Veritas a little bit of breathing room, but not a whole lot. And, well, they're going to go back in on him. Stalkers do choke up the Lings for a little bit of time, but Veritas is in so much trouble right now.
Oh no, Void Ray is potentially his key to holding, but it's going to get delayed for like half a second. A great job there putting the pylons down preemptively. But the question is, what kind of money does he have? I mean, he's got what, 0 army. He has 0 army value right now, both in terms of supply and value. And this, okay, so one Void Ray is going to go out, but one Void Ray does not a hold make, especially when there's no supplies. Well, he's not supply blocked because he has a couple of hatcheries, or a couple of next side, but still, this is not a good situation for him in the slightest. As he moves up in the top right, he says, you know what? Here's my hold. I'm going to take a proxy base.
And, well, that is the kind of thing that can go unscouted and can work out very well for you. Finally, this second base will get kind of discovered, and oh god, oh god.
Oh no.
Not like this, .jpg.
Oh man,
that was
as
brutal.
a Zerg player, that makes me really happy. As an impartial commentator, oh man, that hurts for Veritas here. He's sitting here on 13 supply, 8 probes, 1 Void Ray, and that's all he's got in this game. Now, 2v2s are funny though, because when your friendly goes down, and they go down hard, once you're past 4 minutes, as we are in this game, you do have the option to feed them money, to say, here's what I'm going to give you the money you need to try to get back into this game.
Yeah, it's it will allow him to rebuild. Of course, he does already have some of these probes at the top side. 8 probes. He's got this Nexus nearly done. Whatever happened to that Void Ray? Did it go down? No, it's still just like looking around for Overlords. Okay.
It looks like it got 3 kills. I don't know how many of those were SCVs and how many of those were Overlords, but it's definitely getting something done. The trick though, okay, the one thing that our purple and or blue and orange team have going. Actually, this Void Ray is getting really good work done. But the one thing blue and orange have going for them here is Purity supply is really. I mean, he's sitting here at 100 supply. He has pretty much been untouched. As we do have now a drop from Watertop now into this base with a bunch of Immortals. I've warped in a bunch of Stalkers, and well, he's now on. We have a 1 base Terran and a 0 base Protoss.
Yeah, this is problems. Now that Immortal does go down, and this will get cleaned up, and he is going to be able to re-land. So he gets a lot done there. Oh, and meanwhile, a break attempt at the front. This is going to end up being very costly for the Zerg player. Only getting the wall and a single tank for all that Ling Bane. All of a sudden, this is... Wow, this is looking a lot better. Oh, DTs? Do we have DTs?
We do have DTs.
Oh.
Do we have detection anywhere? No spores. Okay, we have 1 spore in the natural, 1 spore in the main. We do have a lair, so there will be detection eventually. Where is this DT going?
It is going up into the top left, and this is a lot of probes with no detection right there. Oh man, this is going to be big problems here. And we're going to see an attempted depower on this robotics facility. Is it powered by their pylons? Yes, it is. Oh wow, he just double chronoed it.
Yeah, I mean, that's absolutely worthwhile. You got to get that observer up, but you know, Observer's only half the battle. You do have to be able to kill that. Okay, there. Well, how many kills does it get before it dies? 6 kills. I believe one of those was a pylon, so 5 worker kills. Not at the end of the world, but still good moves to try to get Veritas Purity back into this game. And Veritas, ever so slowly getting his economy back. Sitting here on 14 workers now, but his base has been found. The Zerglings are there. They say, hi, guys. Oh, you're still in this game? Oh, yeah, that's probably a problem. We should probably take care of that, as all the workers are going to go down once again. Oh, no.
Literally may go down to 0 workers. He's on 2 right now. Oh, and 1. There it is. 0 workers.
Now, he does have a little bit of money in the bank here. well, gonna warp in the 2 zealots, and he's just gonna rely on the kindness of strangers here. Gonna pull a Blanche Dubois, rely on the kindness of his friend. As Purity is in a pretty good spot. Now he's moving across the map with what looks to be a decently scary army. Stim is done, +1 attack is done. There are a bunch of things. Are there medevacs?
There is one medevac with the army, yeah, and another one being built. This is going to be tough to make anything meaningful happen. Now there we go, 3 tanks. Okay, you have my attention now. All right, I'm
4
listening.
tanks. Now the interesting thing, we do have baneling speed. We're going into Hydras behind this for our Zerg player. Interestingly enough, our Zerg player has decided he's on 4 bases and he's going up or at least going up to an infestation pit on 41 workers. Which I mean, he has 3 bases. I would kind of like to see him go through. Oh, that's not a fight you want to take. That is not a fight you want to take. Fire Bats, Water Tough. Oh no, you gotta get back. You gotta get back. I mean, this SCV pull, this is so all in from Purity and Veritas. As long as you hold this, you're fine, but you gotta hold it.
They need a lot of banelings, and they need them now. Just feed everything into banelings. And, well, tanks. Oh, man, they're moving very far forward, and they haven't seen... Oh, a bit of a move command right there. A lot of the SCVs going down, but the tanks will survive, and most of the bio as well.
And, you know, all that, so many of those banelings just crashed into the tanks. They didn't hit the juicy underbelly of the Terran army. And now we have the last-ditch effort here of Purities. It goes in 74 supply, and it's mostly army. What is this? 4 workers left. Yeah, this is 68 army supply here. And that is more than the supply, well, more than Watertop's total supply here. And there's just no tech. There's just not, neither player, Watertop, Firebats, they don't have the tech they need to be able to do anything. And now, yeah, he's really not, or Watertop's just not mining.
No, he's not. He's got, like, 6 probes mining right now. This, I think that they may have done it. Now, Firebats is still a big threat here. He's on 4 hatcheries. He has a lot of Ling Bane, and there is very little energy on these medevacs.
That is true, and there are charge lots, and there is a warp prism. So I think the play here is you bulldog your charge lots, you just pick them up and you drop them on top of the tank as you move your Ling Bane up into the base. That's how, so you get the tanks being dealt with. And maybe that's how you get up. But actually, no, if you drop on top of them, they will still be able to fire. They'll still be firing on the Ling Bane because they can't fire that close. But this is absolutely... Oh, no, the Charlottes are going to get taken down. And Watertop is a fly block now. So Watertop pretty much out of this game at this point.
Yeah, he's actually got less effective supply, I would say, than Veritas. Veritas has that 1 DT. And what does... Yeah, it's 1 Warp Prism for Watertop. So there's actually more effective fighting supply for Veritas at 4 supply right now than Watertop at 41.
Okay, now we have the final engagement. We have the attempt at cleaning all this up. Banelings spilling in from really only one direction, and the Terran army holds. Now it's what? It's just a bunch of drones, 6 Hydras and a bunch of Zerlings, but maybe that's enough for both sides, and this looks like we actually have enough here. Purity falling apart. Oh, barely, not enough mining, and Firebats, Watertop, they hold. Just barely, but they hold.
Oh my god, I cannot believe that. The probe flank was so helpful. That was so crazy. How often do you say the probe flank just changed that game? Not often. It doesn't happen often, and that was incredible. Oh man, they are about to pay with their lives, though.
Oh no. Question is, do we have... Okay, we have Banelings, and with Zerglings now coming in, there are Hydras here. But the trick is you need that flank. You need to be able to pin the Terran army in position, because this is the last... Well, the last march of the... 300, sure. I'm going for a reference, but I'm absolutely flubbing it. But now, of course, the Terror just needs to not step on creep. That is the story here. That is what he's worried about. And, well, Zerg army's not on creep at the moment.
You know what is cool? So Veritas, he doesn't have any units, but look at the outline on those Marines. He's controlling these Marines, and he is Terran with his main race. So he is... Yeah, oh, no! Oh. What just... No!
Oh, the brain was too big.
He just tried to shift command. Oh, and that may have actually just cost him the game right there.
Oh, man, that's unfortunate. But now we do have... some of the medevacs do get out, and we do have one going for a drop here, and... Yeah, I just don't think there's enough. And now Watertop, he did have enough money to be able to get a base up with his last supply. And there we have it. Watertop Firebats in the game of the decade, taking this 2v2.
Oh man, I'm giddy right now. That was an amazing game.
What a game, man.
Oh god, that was actually so cool and so close to actually making that happen from a completely unwinnable situation.
Man, I don't know what to say. That was the fact that 40 probes flanking from the side won them that game. Like, what do you even say to that? What do you even say about that?
GG. You say GG, you tip your hat, and you just, wow. What an incredible game number 3 right there.
Oh man. That was incredible. And that was really cool. We saw the change in priority there from Veritas Purity at the end as well. Where great job pointing that out. Where Veritas was microing the army of Purity because again, you know, he's 5100. He's gonna have that better micro. But at the end of the day, he tried to shift click a Baneling down and just went a little bit too forward and lost his army.
Oh man, and
but
I think he actually could have definitely won the game with that number of Marines.
Oh, he had enough, absolutely.
Oh man. Oh god. But if it wasn't for that probe flank earlier, as you mentioned, I think that would have probably been it.
That was real cool. So what do we have next? So we move on, you know, try to, you know, move on from this. So maybe we can get some words into us. We have our final 2v2 of the day coming up. Of course, NEU is up 2-1. They find themselves on match point. And I think UI and pretty much everyone else had UC Irvine as the favorites there.
Well, my prediction's already wrong because I said 3-1, so I'm just completely wrong. You can still be right. You can still have that you know, it goes the distance and all that jazz, but you can still be right about the 3-2. But yeah, this is not a scenario I think they expected themselves to be in.
Not at all. So what do we have? I don't believe they've used a swap, right? It's going to be Polka for this final game.
Believe so, yes. I believe that's correct.
Okay. So that's interesting. Actually, this is one of the interesting times when we look at the maps, right? Generally, you see when we look at the CEA map pool, both map A and map B for the most part have been of the same category. Actually, I guess really not necessarily this week. So Romanticide is classified as macro, but Oxide's classified as rush, which is rather interesting. I think does Oxide have that fast of rush distance? I don't think so. But anyway, what I've seen in the past
really. Yeah,
I don't know why that's classified as a rush map, but anyway, we've seen that the classifications of the maps kind of mirror themselves off A and B. They're just kind of different ideas on different iterations on the same idea. But in this map, I mean, we have map 4 is the map A of that is classified as a semi-fortress, so maybe a bit more turtly, bit longer of a game, and well, map number 2 map B is classified as a rush map. So that's interesting there that we do see that dichotomy, see that ability. Oh, we can turtle or we can go all in.
Definitely the ability to switch gears there is a really key one. And being able to make those decisions a little bit more on the fly, it'll make for an interesting match at the very least.
Yep, and it looks like I am in team number 1 right now. I'm excited to defend the honor of UC Irvine, get them on it into the finals, or move into the final map of this series, or you know, send it to
the ace match. Yep.
There we go. It is funny though when you're casting tournaments and you see, you know, occasionally the caster gets stuck in there and the pro players don't notice and you kind of load in. You're like, wait a minute here. I mean, sure, playing special sounds like a cool idea, but I don't think anyone wants to see that one. Not at all.
Definitely not the fans at home. They're looking for something a little different, maybe a little bit more
parity between the players.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I'm ready. I'm ready, but you know, like, yeah, maybe we'll leave this one to the guy who does this for a living and is actually good.
Yeah. So it's interesting as we load it into this map number 4. We have a mirror matchup in 2v2, which is not something you see all that often. In that it's TT versus ZZ and everything I was talking about, how hard it is to figure out whose Marines are whose. Well, luckily we have Game Heart, so we have all 4 players on different colors. But imagine if that wasn't the case. It gets hard.
It sure does. It gets pretty difficult, even as it is. It's gonna be a little bit tricky to see potentially. But we will be getting into the game in just a moment here. Spawning down in the bottom right position, it is the blue Zerg player. Give it up for Blue Marble. And his ally in the bottom right as well, right next to him, it is Watertop, representing NEU.
And their opponents in the upper left, actually clustered pretty tightly together. It is the Teal Terran. It's Luman. And his partner in the purple, it's now Kian. I really should have asked about pronunciation before we got into this game.
Nah, I think you got it. That seems right.
So it goes. Now, I gotta say, though, man, Game Heart does some wonderful things, but you cannot swap player or team positions on 2v2, unfortunately, and they always get it wrong. It is almost always wrong. As, of course, we do have Luman and Kian. They are in the left-hand side of this map, and they're the right side of our overlay. And Blue Marble Watertop, they're on the right-hand side of the map and on the left side of our overlay. And this happens literally every 2v2 I cast when I'm doing that. It's always swapped. I don't know what it is.
That's weird, because for me, it's actually fine. They're actually red and blue on the right, and teal and purple on the left. That is so weird. It just literally doesn't like you.
It literally doesn't like me. I'm like, oh yes, they're low supply. Actually, no, they're really high supply. They're winning. Oh, okay, I guess they are. Fun times indeed.
All the players going to be going for early expansions here, which is not surprising from the Zergs, but a little bit surprising from the Terrans, considering how, like, look at this. Oh, wait, no, you can't even get in here. Can you? Is that rocks? I can't tell. Oh, that's a cliff.
That is a cliff. So this is classified as semi-fortress for a reason, as it's fairly easy to wall off, I guess. But man, once you get in there, once you penetrate past that first level of defense, although really I guess it only has one ramp, so it's kind of scary. But anyway, once you get by there, you got a lot of room. But the trick is, of course, getting by there. You know what? With this expand build, and maybe this is a little bit jank. Actually, it's a lot jank, but don't judge me. I'm almost surprised we didn't see the Terran players build their barracks down on that second ramp. That's kind of what they were planning on doing, because that is absolutely... Well, I guess you need more than 2 barracks. Which they could absolutely double barracks, double supply depot, wall that off.
Yeah, no, I think for sure.
So much.
Yeah. I think they definitely could have done that. I'm not surprised that they didn't, but I would have been completely unsurprised if they had utilized that. I think that would have been a pretty good play. This does not look like a jumpable ramp for Reapers, by the way. This looks much too large.
Looks like it's the full level. Now, this is interesting, though. We do see Luma, or we do see Watertop, we do see Blue Marble, both going for the same build. And it is both really early Spire. I think they took their lair down at actually, I don't know if this may not be Spire. We only see 1 gas or 2 gas. Yeah, okay, Roach is coming down. What I meant to say was rather early a double lair. I believe the lair went down before 3 minutes. So they got some shenanigans coming in here for our double Terran team. They don't want to go into the mid game. They don't want to go into the late game. They say, you know, we got 2 bases, and that is all we need. As we do have a Nidus on the way. Can you load friendly units into a Nidus?
I don't believe so.
Yeah, okay. Now we have double Nidus going down, so yeah, that would put proof to that. And on the flip side, the double Terran team says, you know what? Battle cruisers are pretty cool units, and I have to imagine that the double Terran team does have the advantage from a tech perspective. Well, maybe. We don't see any roaches on the way yet. So if they're able to wait until they get, if they are able to hold on until they get 2 or 4 battle cruisers out, I think they're going to be in a pretty good spot because we don't see a lot. It's only 3 queens on the map for each Zerg.
Yeah, I would say they'll be in an incredible spot if they can get up to those numbers. Now, specifically if they can get up to 4 BCs, it's just going to be such a nightmare to deal with for the Zerg team. But they do have the opportunity to get in with some Nidus Worms. I'm surprised we haven't seen them yet. There's actually a lot of dead space right here, and theoretically both players could put their Nidus networks there, or Nidus Worms.
Yeah, this is actually rather interesting as well. We look at both players, or rather on both sides, they're going for these what appear to be mirror builds, but we are seeing massive differences in those builds. I mean, look at this. +1 is halfway done here for Blue Marble, only just now started for Watertop. Yamato, well, maybe less so on the Terran side of things, as we do have that disparity in Yamato just a little, and we do see we have confirmation that Teal's going for Mech. Don't know about purple as of yet, but with Yamato, you got to assume it. But now the Night Eye are down.
And they may have just been waiting for Roach speed, just so that they can zoom right through the Terran base a little bit more. But now that means that this battle cruiser, this first one, is out, and it is going to be heading back into the main base, as well as these tanks. Oh, but these are some speedy boy Roaches.
And they're just going to get on top of those tanks. Really, before they have a chance to, actually, as I say that, the tanks do siege, they start shelling down. And these tanks, well, the Roaches are, sure, they're getting some of these tanks, but the Roaches are in such a clump. And with the Marines, with everything else here, well, the Roaches are just kind of dying. These battle cruisers, they are indomitable. Now, interestingly enough, we don't have the battle cruiser. We only have the battle cruiser targeting on the Nidus. Actually, I do like that. As with the Queen is not dying yet, there is a Yamato for that. Both Night Eye going down here. And, well, Luman now Kiana, they're in a pretty solid spot.
Yeah, it does seem like the one command center was finished up here. So we will have Luman heading up into a 3rd command center, while both Zerg players are only on 2 base. Just now starting a 3rd hatch. This is so insanely all in.
Now this is actually really cool. You were talking about the cliffs, and you didn't think a Reaper could jump. Well, you can if you're thinking with Niduses. As we do have Nidus on the low ground and the high ground here, but I just don't think there's enough anti-air, or at least there won't be. I mean, what, there are 2 queens on the map? How many queens do we have? Okay, so there are a grand total of 8 queens, and that's where it starts to get a little bit scary. But of course, Yamato's deal with that pretty fast. We are seeing both Terran players still working, still building off these battle cruisers here, and the queens are split. And when the queens are split, they don't have that transfuse energy, they don't have that ability to support each other. And, you know, we do have the Nidus. They're still trying. They're still pumping stuff out, but, man, I don't know.
Yeah, this is seeming like a really tough position for the double Zerg team. The attack is still going, but once again, it's very, very committed. Like, it's done damage, but it needed, I think, to do more.
You know, it's kind of interesting. We do see 1-1 coming here from our Teal Terran, who is down in supply. Notice he's been taking the brunt of this attack. But he elected to go for 1-1 ground, and you know, with how key these battle cruisers are to his defense, I would not have blamed him in the slightest to go and just get get +1 air upgrades. Just keep pounding out those battle cruisers and say, yeah, this is my key to holding here. And he does need to repair that battle cruiser though. He needs to just stop moving it and let the SCVs do their job.
Yeah, they're really trying, but they're not being allowed.
Yeah. So we did have a Nidus pop in on the right-hand side. Doesn't look like it got a whole lot done here. It did force the SCVs to get pulled, but things just died.
Yeah, this is very quickly becoming just an expensive throwaway of units.
Yeah, and as we go further and further, actually, that's Meowkian says, you know what? I think we've held this. Time to go onto the other side of the map. I'm gonna put pressure on you, so you can't put pressure on me. And I cannot say I hate that decision. I think I agree. He does have enough to be able to defend at home. Yeah, he absolutely does. Ow, this is interesting. I wasn't paying attention, but yeah, we have burrow movement from our red Zerg. Do we have burrow movement from both? We do.
Yes,
so.
Yeah. They actually mirrored almost everything they did.
So I wonder whether that's a situation of Watertop or Blue Marble saying, hey, go for this. I'm going to go for it. We're just going to, you know, play like two sides of the same coin here.
And, well, these battle cruisers on the other side of the map, they have already absolutely gutted Watertop here. He is down to just 20 workers. And I don't think these queens are going to be anywhere near enough, and certainly not if they miss their transfuses. Oh, man, this is looking really, really rough for Watertop here.
Yeah, so we do have another Nidus coming in. It looks like this one was killed. So I think we're finally at the point where now where Lumon, they have stabilized. They said, you know what? These Nidus, we have enough to be able to defend all these possible Nidus. But okay, we do have one battlecruiser going down. I believe it did have a teleport. Okay, teleport only just now. Man, it died 5 seconds before teleport came back up again. Ooh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, that was really, really unfortunate here. Meanwhile, the Purple Terran did go for Bio versus the... Teal Terran went for that mech play, as you mentioned much, much earlier.
And that's actually interesting. So you almost never see Bio when you see Yamato Can. That's kind of a tell that, okay, you're going mech here. Or you're going mech, but that's actually not what we're seeing. Yeah, you do see Purple going Bio. And did he lose a fusion core? He did. So he's going to be rebuilding that fusion core so he can keep building more and more battlecruisers.
These tanks are not sieged right now for Lumon, and they are going to get kind of jumped on a little bit. Now, the battle cruisers will show up, and that's going to be enough to push this back. But yeah, that was 3 tanks right there.
But of course, on the other side of the map, now Kian, he says, you know what? You have everything on your side of the map. I got a pretty decent stim bioforce. I got a battle cruiser. It's low, but that doesn't really matter. Now I don't think you have enough here. I'm going to pull you back here. Stop attacking me. Time for me to attack you. And this wall is going down. And sure, there are a bunch of Ravagers now. And actually, they can bile this craft pretty easily. Battlecruiser is going to go down here as everything is just exploding. But it looks like more of the Zerg is exploding than the Terran. And the rally is, well, the rally is now moving across the map. And there's just not a lot of this blue Zerg left. That was a terrible fight for him to take.
Yeah, that was a really, really rough one. And I think this is just going to be too much to deal with ultimately. Drones are being pulled. There is a Hydra now joining up, but it's just one. And, well... you know what? They are going to be able to hold this momentarily, but at what cost is always the question. And it is a hefty one. And that was only one of their opponent's armies.
Oh, so now we see, we're talking about upgrades here for a minute. Lumon is building now 3 battlecruisers at a time. Says, you know what? This is my key to victory. And now I was talking about how, man, I really would have liked to see +1 air. Now we see it. But yeah, man, how does he have that much gas? Sitting here building 3 tanks and 3 battlecruisers pretty much at the same time. That is expensive.
It is very likely that Naokian is feeding him a little bit of gas right there, and that would be a pretty smart thing to do in this scenario. As you said, those mech and battlecruisers are just so expensive in the gas.
Yeah, that would absolutely make sense. It's really, Bio does not spend gas all that much. I mean, sure, they'll buy medevacs and marauders. But, I mean, outside of, and Artosis was talking about this in the GSL the other day. I mean, yeah, when you're looking at a Bio Terran, when you consider the gas cost for things in the mid to late game, anything that costs gas, you might as well disregard the gas cost. Because Terrans very rarely are able to spend their gas. Now, there is the rare exception. But, in general, yeah, that's interesting. And Lumon now, he's taken this time that Naokian has given him to be able to max out. And that is a terrifying mech army here.
Yeah, anytime you're dealing with an army, well, that just has this many battle cruisers, you're just gonna have a really unpleasant time of them, and especially ones that +2 armor kicks in, they're just gonna be like impenetrable. Like if you don't have corruptors, you're gonna have a nightmare trying to clear these.
Yeah, clearly the Hydras are gonna be enough to clear that out. Absolutely, 100%. Yeah, those Hydras are actually really bad against battlecruisers because Hydras get their damage from. Yeah, because they get their damage from. I mean, they're decent damage, but they just fire fast, and that's where they do it. They don't have a lot of HP, so battlecruisers just kind of run to top them and kill the CC there, but they don't do a lot of damage either because battlecruisers have such high armor that the damage that Hydras put out gets mitigated so heavily that they might as well not even exist.
Yeah, it's Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I think we all had that one game where the Terrans get like 1 battlecruiser, and you just have nothing that, you're like, I got 100 supply, but I've got nothing to shoot up, and I got no drones. I've just got these Hydras that do nothing. But these Spores maybe have an opportunity. No.
I mean, so many of them just went down while they were building, and it is it's the right move, but it's a move that's way too late. We will have these Banelings getting picked off before they can even connect, and now Kian joining up with his ally at the front for the shove is going to be enough to force Blue Marble and Watertop out of this game, and we're going to be going to an ace match.
I am excited. You know what makes this even better? This series has been a story of rush maps, of crazy maps. And game number 5, our ace match, it's Submarine. So not only did we have our players dealing with Steps of War in map number 2, said, yes, we want to make it so your natural is effectively your opponent's natural at the same time. We want you to deal with that, but there's this map. It's called Submarine. It's not underwater, though. I don't know why it's called Submarine. But anyway, it's the shortest rush distance that's been in the pool in several seasons. Let's throw both of these at you at the same time. How do you feel about that one?
Yeah, it's gonna be a no holds barred, just punch up, just absolutely slugging each other in the face, and just it'll be tight, it'll be cramped, and it's gonna be a little bit like a knife fight in a phone booth.
Oh, so you're predicting ZVZ then?
Actually no, because Veritas is Terran, but I realized when I said that it really fell flat.
Nah, man, that must be some knife fight in a phone booth for the phone booth to fall flat over. Because those are generally like bolted in place.
Usually, yeah.
Yeah. So I think we're pretty confident that we're going to see Veritas here as our ace player for UC Irvine. I mean, that would make sense. Have him go in as Terran. He's 5100 MMR. It'd be crazy not to. Who do you think we're going to see our ace for NEU? Who do you think we're going to see as our ace for NEU?
Oh, that is a tough one. Whoever they are, they're going to have a really tough row to hoe here. Oh, wow. It might not be Veritas, actually, as the ace.
Is Veritas just taking the week off from 1v1? Because he's played pretty much every 1v1 opportunity here for our for UC Irvine for the first 3 weeks.
Yeah, that's quite surprising. He is here, so so it looks like it's going to be now Kian versus Watertop.
And that's an interesting. That's not what I expected. I mean, I could have seen Watertop.
Yeah, but I would not have expected now Kian. Yeah,
not at all. I mean, Yaoqian, he's good. He's Masters, but again, I think he's about what 500, 600 MMR lower than Veritas. Yeah, MMR doesn't mean everything, but it does mean a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But that means we're going to be finishing things up with a good old-fashioned ZVT.
Yep, we've had a lot of them today, but they've been weird ones. We have not had any sort of good old-fashioned TVZ in the slightest.
No, you're right about that.
And I'm not sure Steps of War is going to be like that either.
All right. Here we go, getting into game number 5, the ace match between these two teams. Spawning up in the top left, representing UC Irvine, it is the blue Terran player, Naukian.
And his opponent in the bottom right, the ace, the potential savior for NEU in the red, it's Watertop.
And will he have something special here, something that can possibly give his team the edge, give them the win? Let's see. It's going to be a tough one.
It is interesting that they decided to go with a Zerg here on this map. Well, I don't think they have a Terran, but I would argue that this map in particular is decently Terran favored, but it's a small map, right? It's hard for the Zerg to get the number of bases that they want. And should the Zerg not be able to absolutely wipe the floor, clean up the entirety of the Terran push, well, the rallies are so short that snowball can happen that much easier. That's assuming he's a standard Ling Bane versus Bio game. We don't know what's going to happen here. And whatever happens, I'm excited. I know at the beginning of this map, when we first started coming out, I saw a lot of Zerg players really experimenting with like the Railgun build, where you just get really early roaches and you move across the map. And I saw some success with that in ZVT, of course, before it got kind of figured out, and Terrans adapted to it and got used to it, as is the case with most maps. But you also got to remember here, this is, I mean, these players are Diamond, these players are Masters, these players are great players, but they're also college students, and they don't have the time to play, 30, 40 games a day like pro players do, so that they're really used to everything that happens.
Yeah, that's a great point. Like, it's... Well, and especially a build like that, when you do a cheese build like that, and you put the burden of perfect defense on your opponent, that's a really great thing to do in a high-pressure situation. It can really pay extreme dividends going for something like that. And I think it's something that's a little bit underutilized, is just, representing the pressure.
Yeah, and I know Neuro, when he streams, he likes to talk about this idea of they're more than just, they're more resources than just mineral and gas.
Yeah.
Right. There's attention span and all that, but I think there's one as well. You want to talk about comfort, right, or agency. This ability for the player to be able to play the game that they want to play, and not the game that their opponent wants them to play, because they will always play better, and they will always be in a better situation should they play the game that they want to play. And this is interesting. So Watertop, A, he's taken the atypical third, but B, he's sitting here and he has not pulled anything out of gas. He's sitting here on 3 out of 3 out of gas in the main base, and he never stopped. So there we do have the Roach Warren on the way down, and yeah, I think we're gonna see the 7 Roach pressure that who started doing it? Was that Dark that really started making use of that build, where you drone behind it, but you move across the map with 7 Roaches and you turn 3 or 4 of them into Ravagers and you just put pressure on, you try to scare the Terran.
That sounds very Dark-esque. Although that might have been actually Rogue who did that the very first time. But that's like 2 years ago, and he only did it for a little bit. Ooh. A little bit of...
Okay, we're back, I think.
Yeah, I didn't get any lag screen. The game just paused for a moment.
Yeah, same for me.
Okay, good.
So, assuming it was someone else.
Pretty fast third command center.
So this is actually pretty good here for Watertop, as, yeah, this is actually really good for Watertop here, as this is a battlecruiser opening with a 3rd command center. And that means there is, what, 2 Hellions, 2 Marines to be able to defend this? We may see more, but this Roach pressure is going to be tremendous here for Watertop, should he be able to pull it off effectively.
Yeah, and he is looking like he is going to commit off of this. This is not just going to be a pressure. This is going to be a pure all-in. And Naokian is going to have a pretty tough time dealing with this. As you mentioned, this is going to be so difficult.
He's not going to scout it until, well, whenever we come back off this lag stream.
Oh, looks like it is unfortunately one of the players, or one of the, well, actually, I guess not unfortunately. Fortunately, it's not one of the players. It is one of the observers.
One of the members of the team. So we're just going to wait here and wait for him to drop, probably. But as we sit here, well, I wish we could move around and drop screens, but the Hellions, they don't see this coming. They will maybe get a chance to see it as they move on into the main base.
Yeah, it's so funny that they specifically don't see anything right now. Because this is actually... It's really threading the needle of not being able to see it.
What they're talking about something called the Order of the Rabbit. Is that anime or something? Okay, so Purity's gone. Now we do have the Hellions. They're going to go in. And now they'll see the Roaches. Now they'll see the Roaches. Say, you know what? We're too far gone. Time to kill some workers. Let's see if we can equalize this a little bit more and more. Roaches are on the way. Zerglings as well. And the army of Watertop, well, it needs to start moving in. Every second it wastes. Well, that's a scary situation here. But this is only 2 Marines in this bunker, so this is absolutely Watertop has the situation to be able to get something done here. Now, eventually, we'll get swatted away. Okay, you actually need to target down the bunker or target down the SCVs. And actually, now Kian's doing a great job of holding this. I think that shouldn't be holdable.
Yeah. This has been a really... Finally, we are seeing some of the SCVs starting to go down. Oh, wow.
Oh, no, the Widowmine. They're going to target on all the... Oh, no. going to target down on all of these SCVs, and now the natural has been breached. But the battlecruiser is just about done, and only 8 workers have gone down on a 3 command center. This is absolutely, well, Watertop needs to get more done
he needs
here.
to, yeah, he needs to get in.
Army.
Oh no! Now Kion opened the door.
Down. Okay, so now it's back up. But more workers go down here, and they're just going, okay. So the Widow Mines are going to go off on what they don't want. And now the battlecruiser is out. The question, of course, is what can Watertop get done here? Can he do enough to kill before the battlecruiser ends his life? Now, of course, we just see more and more Zerglings streaming across the map here. But he needs to be building queens behind this. There we do. We need to see one on the way, but he needs to just be building queen after queen after queen. Because at some point, well, the Terran is going to have no workers left, and he's going to be in the situation where, well, there's going to be one last shot. Now Kion's going to look to move across the map with that battlecruiser and equalize all the damage he's taken. And should that happen, well, that is now Kion's one shot back into this game, as he has a grand total of 3 SCVs. And sure, he has mules, but the command centers have lifted. It is at this point, that now Kion knows that he is, well, I think he knew he was in trouble ahead of time. And actually, I really like this. He's going to target down the tech lab as well. So the 2 battlecruisers will be the extent of the amount of battlecruisers in this game. And now Kion, I guess he's just sticking in here because this is the ace match. He doesn't want to lose his team the series, but this is not a good situation.
No, this is a terrible situation for him right now. And at this orbital, it's actually getting very low on HP. And he doesn't want to lift it, but this isn't even a wall right now, and he is going to lose this orbital. Oh, this is a little tough, though.
So we have 7 queens on the map, now 6. And you know what I would like to see here? Okay, actually, yeah, 5. So this battlecruiser is actually doing a pretty good job. But what I would like to see, and because Watertop has this game won, all he has to do is spore up one of his bases like that.
Yeah.
That's all he has to do, and he wins this game. But I don't know. I don't know if he's going to do that. Wow. Oh.
Oh, man, not again. There's only 2 queens on the map right now. This battlecruiser is going to town.
I'm being told we don't have vid. We don't have video. Do you have the right scene on?
No! No!
Okay, so this one battlecruiser, it's going to go down. 1 battlecruiser, 5 SCVs. That's all that exists on this map versus 38 workers and 2 queens.
Oh.
Oh, no.
What a day. Oh, my God. Well, we're there now. Oh, my God. So
right.
Watertop is up so many workers right now, and he did kill one of those command centers. So now Kion's in so much trouble, and he did not get the break.
All right, so, oh man, who's lagging now?
Huh.
I guess UCI's internet is just having a rough time.
Yeah, would certainly seem to be.
Well, actually, no, Blue Marble.
Blue Marble is
from,
NEU, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. So what do we have? How many queens do we have on the map right now? We have 7 queens. Once again, 7 queens are the number you kind of need to deal with the battlecruiser here, but they're not all together, not quite yet. It's only 4.
Oh, that's very unfortunate.
Blue Marble, yeah. All right. So battlecruiser is going to try to chase this down. Nice pullback micro here. And, well, this one battlecruiser is going to should be able to kill these queens, but what he really needs to do is he has inject queens. And when the battlecruiser shows up, just pull your inject queens onto the front. There we do have it. These 3 queens of Orient Far should be able to remove this battlecruiser from the map. No. 1 HP.
What?
10 HP. 10 HP.
2 hits.
So what? Oh, man. +1 attack here on the way for Bio. And we do see a Spire now on the way. Okay, so Watertop is in a good position. Watertop is indubitably in a good position here. But the resources lost do minorly favor now Kion. He is sitting here only on 1 base, muling out. So that main base has got to be almost out of minerals by now. For the Terran player, yeah, it's only 18 out of 14. I'm surprised. Actually, I thought it would be much lower than that.
Yeah, it's about to mine out another mineral patch though, and now it's
okay.
So it's down to just 6 patches right now, and it's about to be 5 even.
So yeah, the mules. I guess that's just the mule scattering. Yeah, these minerals are running out rather quickly. So he's going to take his natural now. But do we have one battle cruiser that exists on the map. It has been teleported back in. It will find these spores. And now this is 2 spores and a queen, which means it's a little bit scary. But Watertop does in fact need to pull his probes away from it, or drones away from that. There we go. And now we have these 2 queens shooting away. Now the spore here, this actually, so yeah, I do like this. Watertop, he has invested in the static air, and the battle cruiser will be forced back once again, only getting 4 workers. But any sort of damage he gets done is, of course, worthwhile damage. Because, well, the battle cruiser doesn't die. The battle cruiser keeps him safe.
You know what's crazy is if that 3rd command center was still alive, I think this game would be almost even right now.
That is insane, considering Naokian went down to 0 workers.
Yeah.
We have had some insane games today. I don't even. I literally cannot even, as the children say. Now, it's kind of funny when you're looking at this tank right here, man. When the tank was behind everything, it really looked like that tank absolutely blended in the background. like you know, when you have the wireframe when you're about to build something. I'm like, why is that? How is that tank phased out? What is that? But no, just the skin.
Yeah, no, it's some of these skins look. This one looks super steampunk. Looks very, very cobbled together, I guess.
So here's my question. We do have, this is going to be Ling Bane here for our Zerg player. We do not have Baneling speed on the way. We do not have Baneling speed done. And that battle cruiser just has to, there is no Yamato. Okay. And now we're seeing Naokian starting to get on the map here. This is, of course, 71 workers to 38, and they're even on army supply. So,
11.
Again, it's rough for Naokian here, but he does have +1, and Stim is closer to being done than not done.
I was going to say, he cannot afford to lose this medevac. That is a really, really important bit of presence that he has on the map. And he will keep it alive.
Should Naokian pretty much lose anything at this point, whether it's a battlecruiser, whether it is those, whether it's a medevac, whatever it is, that automatically opens the door for Watertop just kind of run in there and kill him. So yeah, he absolutely has to make sure he loses nothing. And now we do have centrifugal hooks on the way. It looks like Watertop going up to at 80 workers. He says, you know what? Win ahead, get more ahead. It's time for me to. I would kind of like to see him take a 5th sooner rather than later as well. I mean, sure, his opponent's on 2 bases, but might as well get that larva, right? Even if you're not mining from it at the moment. And actually, really what he needs though is I think it's Corruptor Ling Bane. It's not quite as gas intensive as Mutiling Bane. And actually, we're going into Hydras behind this.
Yeah, Naokian is going to start getting aggressive across the map, but I don't know about this. Very interesting, by the way, the Zerg player went for +1 Carapace and is now getting +2 Carapace on his Corruptors. I guess for the BCs?
Yeah, well, I guess they're never going to die to Marines either, but we do have this stimming in here, and actually really nice around. Oh, no! Oh, man. Battlecruiser is just going to be forced to teleport home. The entire Terran army gets wiped away. And now Watertop up 60, or up 3 times the army supply of his Terran opponent.
And Naokian trying to take this 3rd command center. It is not happening at this time. There is no way. And in fact, Naokian has to turtle on 2 base to even have a chance of staying alive right now.
So where everything's going to get on top of this tank. Actually, they're ignoring it. So many Banelings hitting this tank, and you know, not killing that tank with the Zerglings is a mistake here. But I feel like it's a mistake that Watertop can't afford to make, as 8 more workers go down. Naokian has lost 43 workers this game. And we are on such a low economy, that is absolutely something you need to worry about. But I'm actually rather surprised we didn't see Watertop just keep punching that through, but I guess he ran into an inject issue. I think he's lost enough queens this game that he just did not have the larva. He needed to keep streaming that Ling Bane through, as he's sitting here for a while, sitting on this massive bank, and now he's going for triple macro hash. Well, that's one way to take care of it.
It certainly is. I would, like you said before, I would really prefer to see him take a 5th base, even if just for the larva. But I mean, this push alone right now is going to be very challenging to deal with for the Terran player. And if this command center goes down, Naokian is just going to be in such a desperate scenario.
So we do have our Terran player. He's going to step back towards the safety of his single tank. But really what he needs to be able to do there is defend the fact that his command center is going down. The command center is burning, and there is no defense for that. Hey, yeah, will not land in time. So now we do have our Terran player on 2 bases. And this is, of course, +1 Carapace. Or this actually +2 Carapace just about done here for these Corruptors. These Corruptors do not die to 2 Marines in the slightest here. What, that puts them on, what, like 5 armor?
I think that. 4 armor. Yeah, they have base 2 armor.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, and look at this. We're going to see now Kion add on more factories and try and go mech.
It's an option. I mean, mech can be hard to kill, but when you're down this much, I mean, when you're doubled supply, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah, this is going to be a sad moment too. Well. Oh god. Still on 2 bases, and even then, it's really just the one.
And now we have Watertop here. He's setting up for a full 360-degree surround. Battlecruiser will get forced to teleport out once again, now, so will not be in this fight. Now we have the Corruptors. They're just going to be on the natural, probably. Do what they can. The entire Terran army evaporating in an instant. Sure, there's Marines behind, but there are no tanks. There is nothing of substance, nothing of value here. As the mineral line goes down, 20 workers go down here. The main has been penetrated once again, and now with the Zerglings surround, Zerglings on superior upgrades as well. There is nothing here. There is no hope. There is no prayer for now, Count. And NEU taking the series, forging their way one step closer to the top of the table. Second now only to the team of Vindicta, UCSD.
What a crazy, crazy scenario. That was a huge upset. Absolutely massive right there. And very, very well done.
Hey, that was incredible.
And
yeah.
Oh, sorry, go on.
I was gonna say, I think we both had UC Irvine as the heavy favorites.
Oh yeah.
And the fact that they took it in the ace match, man, the calculus I had there was like, yeah, sure, it's gonna go 2-2, whatever it's gonna be. I mean, 2v2 is weird, and if you practice hard at that, you can make it for some pretty drastic skill disadvantages. But they're gonna go to the ace, and they got a Grandmaster. Like, they're just gonna win.
Yeah.
And they didn't. That's insane. I wonder why Veritas didn't play in the ace.
I'm pretty curious about that myself, and well, we'll probably get a chance to ask him after, but first we're gonna get a first we're gonna get a little interview with the captain of the winning team, Watertop.
All right, so that I believe that means I'm going to sign off for a minute, and I'll be back once the interview's done.
Yep, sounds good.
Right, okay. So I'll listen in on that, and I'll be back.
Awesome. Thank you. So we are just gonna... we are just looking to get an interview with Watertop here. Oh. All right.
Oh, hello.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going really well. I did not expect that to happen, but here we are. I don't know.
Exciting time for sure. That was crazy. Very well done. Congratulations. And first of all, why don't you introduce yourself?
I'm Ryan. I'm a second year at Northeastern University. Been playing Starcraft ever since it was free to play. My friend got me into it, and now I'm addicted. That's fun. And yeah, our team, we're all basically new players. We all just have fun. It's really good for the freshmen, especially because of COVID. It's hard to meet new people. I'm really glad with this opportunity to kind of meet new people and have a good time.
Nice, that's awesome. And well, yeah, you guys have been a little bit middle of the pack, but this is definitely on paper going to be a tough match for you guys. But yeah, tell us a little bit about how you're feeling right now.
I'm feeling shocked to be honest. The first game, I was after the first game, I was so defeated. I was like, whoa, this is gonna be a 3-0 and it's gonna be terrible. But my teammates really did not let me down. Second game was crazy. And after that, we just had some momentum, and yeah, we just took it from there. We did some really crazy strats, and it turned out pretty good.
Yeah, you guys definitely brought the heat in this series, and that first 2v2 was a lot of fun too. Uh, Tell us a little bit about how you've kind of forged the team, like how who's the big, or I guess when you joined the team, was it like, did you start it yourself, or was it already kind of a thing, or what's up?
Northeastern, we didn't have a team playing last year, so I sort of started the team. So it was just me, my roommate over there, who didn't get to play sadly, um, and like a few freshmen, and uh, we kind of just banded together, and we're all new to this whole thing, and we're having a great time.
Awesome. Yeah, it seems like it it had taken down one of the favorites for the league for sure.
Yeah.
Uh, what's I mean, it's your first season, and obviously, yeah, community is definitely the big goal. But in terms of like overall, what's kind of your goal for the season?
Well, really, our goal is to have fun. We didn't expect to do well at all because all of us, I mean, I'm the highest ranked player at Diamond 2, and we didn't really come in with a lot of expectations. Our main goal is just kind of improve as a team and just have fun. I don't know. That's it.
Nice. Well, I mean, you have fun when you win sometimes, and that was a pretty great one. Uh, hey, in the background, shout out to your roommate waving there. Um, yeah, what I guess anyone you want to shout out on the team in general.
I mean, everyone's been amazing. Ethan basically turned things around after I lost the first game, so big shout out to him. Totally turned the tides. Um, Patrick sadly couldn't join us, but again, great player. Steven, game four, amazing. Of course, Kimmin over there made a great moral support, team captain in spirit. So, you know, uh, I mean, everyone on the team is amazing, and we've had such a good time. I really hope we get to continue and play more games because we're having a lot of fun.
That is awesome. That's fantastic, and we look forward to casting more of your games in the future. Before we let you go, anyone, any social media you want to shout out or anything like that? Any of the players' streams, maybe?
No, we don't do any of that. But maybe next time we win or lose something, I'll have something to tell you.
There you go. Sounds good. Thanks so much for joining me, and have a wonderful afternoon.
Yep, you too.
Awesome. That was Watertop, the captain of NEU, and well, we're just gonna see if we can grab an interview with the other side. Not gonna commit to that before we do. Awesome. Perfect, perfect, perfect. We are just about to get into another one with Veritas. Hey, how's it going?
Hi.
Oh,
Hello.
how are you doing?
Yeah, doing fine, doing fine. Thank you for asking.
Oh, that's good. Why don't you introduce yourself for the people at home?
Hi, I'm captain of UC Irvine. I'm Veritas, and I'm a Master 1 player playing for UC Irvine, and I'm a 30-year student in UC Irvine as well. Yeah, that's about it.
Awesome. Well, first of all, you guys have done pretty well in the season. Obviously, a little bit of a tough loss this week, but
Yeah.
it's been you still have a solid record at 3-2. I expect we'll see you bounce back from this for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Was there you know, I gotta ask, was there any reason you didn't want to play today for the ace match, or you just kind of want to give some other players a little bit of time in the spotlight, or were you maybe you know, hiding builds, or what's up?
Uh, n- uh, n- Nokian is one of the player in our team who is really practice a lot and practice pretty hard. And I just want to give him a chance to shine, like in the ace match, but it's a bit unfortunate. Yeah. Like give
Yeah,
him the more experience of playing 1v1, especially in the important matches like this.
well, this is the best way to get that experience. So that's a
Yeah.
good way of looking at it. Also, the build order counter didn't help too much. It was that Roach all in versus the 3cc straight up into BCs is always going to be a tough scenario.
It's just a build order lost. So and Nokian feel pretty bad, and we are just trying to comfort him now.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Yeah, because it's whenever you're in that situation, it always feels a little bit kind of blah. But that's good that you guys are are having him. You're on his side, I guess.
We're always on his side.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So did you have any special preparation for any of the matches this week? Any of the 2v2s or anything like that?
Not much. I know Luma and Nokian prepared quite a lot for their 2v2 match, but me and Purity we didn't prepare too much, so it didn't end up well.
Well, it almost did though. You you kind of got isolated and knocked out of it real early, but you had some really good micro with those Marines at the end, and the Terran Heart
not
almost.
good enough.
Well, I mean, until that one point, you had really good micro. Yeah.
True.
But yeah, is there anyone that you're looking forward to kind of facing again or facing for the next week?
Facing for the next week, I'm not so sure. I'm not sure are we playing the same team we played before again. But in the future round, we are definitely looking forward to play against UC Chicago and UC SD again in the future.
Okay.
Yeah, since we are kind of I feel like a rival against U Chicago. We played in Taspa, we played in last season, so we have quite a long story.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Have you played them this season yet? I haven't had
Yeah,
a chance to.
We played it already.
Yes, I actually think I cast
Yeah,
that
you
one.
casted
Yeah, I did.
it,
Yeah, that was a pretty good one. That one. Yeah, that was a pretty good one. Some really electric 2v2s actually. There was one I remember where you were like completely dead, and I think it was Lumon and
it's no name got the BC out, and he just wins the game. Yeah.
Pretty good stuff.
I think the BC is going to be our new mascot.
There you go.
Everyone, yeah.
Is there anyone, before I let you go, is there anyone you want to give shout outs to either on the team or, well, your team, because you're also a member of Alpha X, or anything like that?
Big shout out to the team. I just hope our team can keep practice hard. Of course, school first, but surely I want them practice hard and get us as far as we can in this tournament and potentially win this tournament. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, we'll be rooting for you from the sidelines, and hopefully we'll get a chance to cast some of your games in the next couple of weeks.
Okay. Thank you a lot, Steadfast.
Thank you. Thanks for joining us, and have a wonderful afternoon.
Yeah. See you.
All right, and that was once again Veritas, member of Alpha X and the captain of UC Irvine, and definitely a big upset there. But you know, it is important to give some of your players a little bit of experience, because you never know. And when Veritas in the playoffs maybe isn't available to play in that ace, and all of a sudden you've given a little bit more experience to one of your players who you would use as a different ace or as a backup ace. All of a sudden, maybe they play a little bit better because they've already had that experience. So, you know, can't fault them for that. And we're gonna get BeoMulf back on here before we sign off.
All right.
Welcome back. Welcome back.
I think I'm back.
You are. How are you doing?
That was
How was timeout?
Timeout was great. I got to listen to the interviews, at least part of them. I think I missed the last 2 minutes of Veritas because, of course, we're back on screen now. But it was pretty cool to hear about how Veritas, had so much faith in his team and how wanted to really reward the work that Naokian's put in there to put him on into the ace match.
Yeah, that's really cool. I like that a lot. That's That shows like I mean, obviously it didn't pan out for him, but like it shows a lot of trust and like the ability to kind of I think in an opportunity or in a situation where Veritas maybe can't actually show up, having that more experience, I kind of talked about it just a little bit ago, having that more experience can make a big difference.
Oh, absolutely. There's such a different pressure when you're sitting there in the ace match and really any sort of final match of a series, whether it's because your team's down, you need a win to stay alive, or whether it's just, oh, this is the ace match and I got to stay alive, right? Or I got to win this. There's so much more pressure in that game. Even just pressure coming from yourself, and maybe it's not even the pressure coming from your teammates. That is absolutely something that it is really hard to do if you don't have the experience doing it. So cycling these players in and say, look, this is what it's like to be in this high pressure situation. That's a great look when you're looking to go down in the field when you have championship hopes, because you're not going to be in easy games when you go into the playoffs. You're not going to be 3-0, 4-0, whatever the case may be. You're going to be in those hard games. You need those players both prepared from a actual skill perspective, but also from a mental fortitude perspective, so they can understand what's happened and they can be used to everything and go from there.
Yeah, and that's why you never see, even in the pro scene, you never see a player just suddenly and now it's a little bit different because everything's been switched to online and it kind of changes up the whole dynamic. But whenever there's offline tournaments, it usually takes a long time for players that have really shown up online to have success offline. And the answer to that is very obvious. It's that you just don't have the experience. And until you get that experience, there's like maybe, 1 in 10,000 people at anything that can just suddenly play the same way without any preparation. And so getting that better experience any way that you can is always a nice thing.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's why we glorify Royal Roaders, players like that so much, because that just doesn't happen. And even then, if it's a Royal Road, well, they still went to offline qualifiers and they still did that multiple times before getting into, say, the GSL and qualifying. So there's a reason why we place these players that are able to just go in and on their first offline tournaments and just win immediately. There's a reason why we glorify them even above the standard champion.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that's going to pretty much wrap up the show for today. Thank you so much for joining us, BeoMulf. Go ahead, do the sponsorship, or do the shout outs, I should say.
My pleasure. So once again, I've been BeoMulf. Massive shout out, of course, to my team Exxon, which actually picked up both Steadfast and I recently. So we're the official casters for that. If you like what I do, if you say, hey, this guy is at least not terrible at talking about this game of Starcraft, well, I pretty much tweet whenever I'm going live at twitter.com/BeoMulf_SC2, because I stream on a bunch of different platforms. I stream on twitch.tv/BeoMulf. That's where I do a lot of stuff. I do some stuff on trovo.live/BeoMulf. And this coming Sunday morning at 2 a.m. Eastern time, because apparently I'm crazy and sleep schedules are for the week, I will be on, I believe, the Africa TV /Alpha X channel, casting a best of 9 between Stats and Beyond.
Oh, wow.
That's gonna be fun.
That's gonna
be a fun one. I think Stats probably wins. Stats is dominant in PvT recently, but Beyond absolutely can do things, and it's gonna be an interesting stylistic matchup between the ultra defensive Protoss and the ultra aggressive Terran. But anyway, that will be on africa.tv/AlphaXSC2, I believe. I'll tweet when I go live with that, regardless. But yeah, that's about all I got. Massive shout out to CEA. Massive shout out to the sponsors of this tournament. Gilded.gg. Is Shopify a sponsor of the collegiate bracket as well, or is that just the corporate bracket?
I am not sure, but I mean, we'll give them the shout out regardless, since they, at the very least, they do the corporate side.
Absolutely. So yeah, that's all the shout outs I got. Thanks for having me once again. It's a good time.
Oh, it's my pleasure, and I'm sure it's the CEA's pleasure as well. Sorry, so the thing you're casting, is that going to be tonight, or is that going to be tomorrow night?
That is about, what is that? It's 6 p.m. So it's about, what, 8 hours from now?
8 hours from now. Okay, so it is
8 hours from now.
It is like coming up. So yes. Sunday 2 a.m., Saturday 11 p.m. PST. So if you want to see Stats versus Beyond, which you definitely do, make sure to check that out.
You do.
And
it's gonna be I'm excited about this one. The last one I did on this channel, the big one, I did parting versus innovation when we found out that was kind of the matchup that we found out that PvT's a little broken for the Protoss and proxy voiders are insane. Unfortunately, we won't have an interview this time, so we won't get that nice polarizing information where parting says, yeah, Blizzard balance screwed up. Protoss is imba right now, but we're still gonna see some good games.
Oh, absolutely. And yeah, so if you want to check me out, you can check me out at twitter.com/steadfastsc2. You can follow my Twitch channel at twitch.tv/steadfastsc. There's been a ton of technical issues today. I know that, but I accept responsibility for them. They're my snafus. But for next week, you will have BeoMulf he will have you all to himself, I should say. Because I am going to be unavailable next week, but he will be managing this, managing the streams. And we'll be back again he'll be back at 2 p.m. and 4 p.m. EST and 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. PST. Yeah.
That sounds right.
And yeah, as well, make sure to follow this channel here, twitch.tv/SC, CEA_SC2. Wow, my brain is just so discombobulated right now. And yeah, make sure to follow that channel. Make sure to follow my channel. Make sure to follow BeoMulf's channel. Make sure you have yourselves a wonderful afternoon. And I guess that's going to do it for us.
Yep. It's been a wonderful day of StarCraft thus far. I've had a great time. We've got some crazy games, some absolutely bonkers games. That we got so lucky to be able to cast these. And yeah, it's a great day. Have a great morning, afternoon, evening, whatever the case may be out there for all you across the world, across the U.S. And yeah, stay safe out there. It's gonna be it's a fun world.
On that note, stay safe. Have a good one.